So, I don't know if Colette can come to us. Yes? Please welcome Colette. She is... And this is for video. Only for video.
Hallo zusammen, herzlich willkommen im Sotzinghaus. Das tönt nicht, hä?
Nein, this is nur für Video.
Ah. Hören ihr mich alle? Nein, ich muss Leute reden, ist so gut? Okay. Herzlich willkommen bei uns im Sotzinghaus. Es freut mich sehr, dass wir Host sein dürfen heute bei Creative Mornings mit dem Thema Mein Baum, Dein Baum. Wir sind ganz neu da. Uns gibt es seit Mitte Oktober. Wir haben ein grosses Eröffnungsfest hinter uns und es läuft. Die Bewohnerinnen im Haus die ziehen ein. Täglich haben wir neue Leute im Haus. Wir haben ein gemeinschaftliches Wohnen von älteren Menschen zusammen mit Menschen mit Behinderung und 3 Studentinnen im Haus, die als Gemeinschaftshelferinnen im Haus mithelfen. Und im Bistro, das ist offen für das ganze Quartier, also ihr dürft jederzeit vorbeischauen. Es gibt ein soziokulturelles Angebot am Oben und wir freuen uns, euch wieder hier zu sehen. Ja?
Ja, danke. Thank you very much for wonderful breakfast. We not always so lucky to have it, and it was great today. Thank you. And yes, so we coming to our speakers. I would like to welcome Amanda and Emma, who are founders of Mein Baum, Dein Baum, a Basel-based initiative offering subsidized tree planting in the private front gardens, and including also 2 years of care. The mission is simple and impactful. Increase the city tree canopy, improve the urban climate, and strengthen community awareness around local greening. Today they will share how the idea took root and how small urban intervention can create meaningful environmental change. Please give a warm welcome to Emma and Amanda. So after we would...
First, hi everybody. Good morning. I am not a morning person, so me neither. I almost turned away when I saw that sign. But we just want to thank you, Creative Mornings, for inviting us. We're very grateful to be here. We've given a version of the speech or this lecture, Vortrag, to a room of 400 people. We've given it to a crowd of 4 people. And this is a very happy, so thank you for being here. Yeah. We are Mein Baum, Dein Baum. We are a team of 4. This is Amanda, I'm Emma, this is Sarah, who's sitting right here. And then our 4th is Casper, who is running around Basel right now planting trees. Because we are actually in the middle of our fall plant trees in spring and in fall, and the trees arrived
Monday.
Monday. So he's digging holes and planting trees. What do we do? As already explained, we plant 4 gardens. Punkt. This is what it looks like to plant a tree in a Vorgarten. This is a tree going into a Vorgarten. And why Why? Because of the enormous potential and the enormous presence of the Vorgarten in Basel. Taken together, these small parcels have an enormous impact on how we perceive, how we live in Basel, how Basel has been built up. Basel, the Vorgarten in Basel isn't. This is in Kolmarstraat, and of course, because a tree in a Vorgarten can transform the experience of walking down the street with color, with shade, and then in today's world, most important, heat, and with the amazing capability of a form, the temperature of a street, the shade of a street, et cetera, et cetera. And is actually the most cost-effective way to urban environment. Better here. I'm going to go into briefly about who we are, who we are as a team, who we are as a team of Meinbaum Deinbaum, because it explains the birth of Meinbaum Deinbaum and a bit where we are in our sort of method and our motivation. My name is Emma Thomas. Again, I'm trained as a landscape architect and also as an urban planner. I sort of came up with this idea of Meinbaum Deinbaum because I live one street over on the Heinrichsgasse, and on the corner of Heinrichsgasse sits this villa. And there was a Baumfellbewilligung from the owner to take down this large Eibe here. The Baumfellbewilligung was granted, the tree came down. I was horrified. All of a sudden, I was not living on Heinrichsgasse anymore, I was living on Spalenring. I could hear it, I could feel it, I could sense it. What was once a little urban oasis was no longer. And then, of course, there was a certain amount of frustration about what was happening in Basel, here and here, and then, you know, strategies that the city have to cool urban areas, which are also perhaps not the most cost-effective and not the most efficient, and then lots of new asphalt going down without any Schwamm incorporated in it. And then, of course, there's the obvious factor that everybody wants more trees in the city. It's clear. We want, and they are enormously effective in terms of heat absorption, carbon absorption, sunlight, making shade, etc. And so then I asked myself, okay, where can we plant trees in the city now? And the Vorgarten sort of became the obvious place where we could do that, because we don't have to get permission from the city. We only have to get permission from nice people like you in the room, and because the Vorgarten sits right on the boundary of the public trottoir. When we plant a tree in the Vorgarten, it has a public impact, and therefore we saw some potential opportunity for funding, because it's not just a private tree, it's also luckily, I was not alone in my thinking. Sarah here, with her 10 years at the Stadtbildkommission, was also thinking about the Vorgarten and how it plays a role in Basel and how it can be transformative in terms of Stadtreparatur. I mean, I would say our project is definitely an ecological project, but it's also an aesthetic project. Because the Vorgarten comes in various shapes of sizes. There's large ones, there's green ones, there's small, there's sad ones. There's streets without a lot of trees in Vorgartens, and then there's streets with a lot of trees in Vorgartens, and you can really perceive the difference. And we, as Meinbaum Deinbaum, are quite convinced that no matter how big or how small a Vorgarten is, it can fit a tree in it. I'm going to turn to Amanda, who we met 20 years ago studying landscape architecture together. And now we're here.
We're now in Basel together, and I also am a landscape architect. I also have a degree in horticulture, and I'm very interested in the actual quality of the trees and the form and how each one reacts in different places. And I think part of our project goal is to plant the right tree in the right spot, because that's the only way to get the kind of longevity of a tree and to reach its greatest potential. So we're looking at Zukunftsbäume, future trees that are heat tolerant, drought resistant, have a number of qualities, from the crown to the virtual structure here, how they interact with pipes, how they interact with the earth underneath the foregarden. So this is a ground up process, but it's also a ground down thinking. Yes, so this is a parotia. It's a great future tree. You can see the variety. This is a cercis. This is a pine tree. There's a huge variety of species that we can choose from. They're not always native, but we've kind of compilated a large list of trees that work, and we can go through them and pick the right tree for the right spot.
Oops, sorry. Oh, you're
I'm doing it. Then there's Casper, who we could not do this project without. He is our garden partner. We worked with a number of garden teams, Raumengarten, Josh Schneider, different nurseries in the area and also in Holland. And he really gets the job done for us. We plant our trees professionally. This is not a hobby job for us. We pay real gardeners to plant the trees, so they do it correctly. But he seems to fit these trees in the most amazing little tight spaces and large foregardens, and yeah, he figures it out. So what is the real potential of the foregarden? As Emma mentioned, each small parcel creates a larger map, a larger connectivity of green space in the city. Sarah actually drew in CAD the entire foregarden mapping of the city, and it comes down to 115 hectares of land in the existing infrastructure of Basel. One Cannonfeld Park is 8 hectares. This is the equivalent of 13 Cannonfeld Parks, just to give you an idea of the scale that this potential project can reach. If you look at all the new areas that are being built and greened in Basel, it's actually less than the existing infrastructure. But this isn't practical. You cannot say, oh, we have 115 hectares of usable space for trees in Basel. So we did a little bit of calculation here, where we took away Bruderholz. It's very green already. It's doing well. and then we had to subtract Velostände, Zugang, Risalite. People need these things in their garden, subtract another 50%. And then people are also skeptical of trees. Maybe there are trees existing already, so we take another 50% away. What we end up with, if we calculate 1 tree per 25 square meters, which is the average size of a foregarden, you actually have the equivalent potential of 9,000 trees to plant in Basel. Pretty big. How much money will trees save? This is often a topic of conversation. As Emma mentioned, it is the cheapest and most effective way to start cooling a city. These are just some quotes about that, but who is saving Basel money? It's all of you, it's all of us. It's single family house owners. It's large, this is actually owned by the same family, and this is on St. Gullering, and we were able to plant 7 trees there this year. So it's this kind of forward thinking by owners that we're trying to reach. But who actually owns Basel? It's not us. UBS, Pensionskasse, Balois, Zurich, Swiss Life. These are very large landowners in Basel. This is owned by Swiss Life, this entire block. This is Luzerner Ring. It's loud, it's hot, it's dusty, there's a lot of pollution, there's a lot of traffic. So we sent them a proposal. What happens if you plant a tree in every foregarden on this street? And you can see the difference. It would temper the pollution, it would temper the noise. It would effectively change the people's life in the buildings, but also on the street. Well, this kind of idea and thinking of targeting larger landowners has now created this kind of offshoot of a verein, which Emma is going to talk about now. So
I think in the hopes of us going after these larger landowners, we formed Meinbaum Deinbaum Plus, and the idea with Meinbaum Deinbaum Plus is to again think of the tree as the protagonist and as the way to transform the city, and to think about, okay, where can we plant these trees now that have a public impact? And there are spaces called POPs in the city, and POPs are foregardens, both large and small. They're publicly owned. And we want to target. Our first project as Meinbaum Deinbaum has been executed already. It's at the former Gondrand Gebäude on the Hafen, building now owned by Immobilien Basel-Stadt. that is now a Zwischennutzung. They've taken it over as part of their slow transformation of the Hafen. It's now studio spaces, the Trendsporthalle, paddle, etc., etc. They actually came to us for a proposal for the quote-unquote Vorgarten, or the pop of Uferstrasse 70. We made a proposal, sent them a visualization, and 3 months later, we were cutting holes in the asphalt. And now they have 25 new trees in their Vorgarten, and it has transformed. And again, this is really our idea with Mindbaum Deinbaum Plus, to do it efficiently, to do it fast, and to do it. Moving forward with Mindbaum Deinbaum Plus, we are looking at more pops all over the city. For instance, this one on right before as you're going into the Gundeli. This is owned by, surprise, surprise, UBS. We sent a proposal to them for a Miyawaki wald. A Miyawaki wald is a Japanese method of planting trees. You plant them quite small, you plant them tight together, you plant...
it's a fast-growing forest.
Yeah, it's a very fast-growing, it's called a tiny forest, and it's very fast-growing. And it's environmental. This is all the things that a Miyawaki wald can actually do. They haven't accepted our proposal yet.
Still working on it.
But, which is, there really needs to be, it's really interesting because all these small private landowners are coming to us and say, I want a tree. And then when we go to UBS and said, hey, for 50,000, which is nothing for UBS, you can get a forest and you can transform this horrible corner of Basel. And they say that's too expensive. Then you're questioning what. And then we've sent a proposal for this building on Grenzach. For this building, we've sent a proposal to SIS, which were they're a meter, but we're here. So we're on it. We're working on it. And we've had an enormous amount of positive press from all kinds of publications, all the way from Der Gartenbau to BZ Basel to et cetera. We've won awards, et cetera. But there's a lot of hard work that goes into this. Is not always rewarded, but we're positive. We have from private landowners grown, that was our planting in 23, and this is our...
We've planted 200 trees in the last 3 years, just to give you an idea of 200 trees.
Our goal, of course, is 9,000 Bäume for Basel, and to reach that goal, we just need you to come to us and say, ich will. And these are the proposals that we've sent.
I guess we should explain a little bit how we work. This is, we meet with each owner for a Beratung, an interview, and we ask them what they would like for a tree. We look at the site, we look at the solar orientation, we look at the size, the spacing constraints, and then we come away from that and discuss what trees would work. We send them visualizations with 3 different species. One of them is always Einheimisch. And then we give them the power to choose, because ultimately they have to love their tree, they have to take care of it. We're not going to water it for them, so they have to want to take care of it. But I think it's a really good way to get people involved in the tree choosing process. We just kind of give them help, and it's a bespoke kind of concept, but it empowers owners to choose their own tree.
In the right tree.
In the right tree, yeah. Well, we guide them to the right tree, but then they choose it.
Yeah.
So, thank you. Thank you very much. Do you have any questions for us? Yeah. To remove a tree. You mean they would like to remove it, or renovation? Yeah.
Oh no. No.
Were they putting scaffolding?
No. He was bothered by
the dust.
The ibis shed a lot of leaves.
Yeah.
Humans shed more trash than trees, I should remind everybody. That's when people come to me and say, yeah, but there's so many things are going to fall out of my tree. And I think, okay, fast fashion, hello.
We can't tackle everything.
Okay, sorry, no. I think it was a concern. That was the concern.
Yes. Yeah, that's a big topic of conversation, actually. Maintenance, breakage.
That has been the largest block towards these proposals that we've made to UBS, to Vary, to Swiss Life, etc. That there's always the Hauswart in front, who's sort of the gatekeepers of anything that's going to happen in an Immobilienstück. And they have, very unfortunately, a misguided perception that trees are a lot of maintenance. Where actually we have gotten offertes from Gartenbaufirmas where we have two next to each other. You have one with a Rasenfläche and one with a Wildblumenwiese with a Bäume in it. And actually the cost of maintaining a Rasenfläche is more than a Wildblumenwiese because a Wildblumen you have to cut it down twice a year. Rasen, of course, is much more Fläche intensive. This is one of our large hurdles.
But we use this information to try to change people's minds about the maintenance. So we've done a lot of research on how to present a convincing argument that trees are less maintenance than other possibilities. So that's also kind of a fun project for us, is to try to convince people to do this and that it's the right decision.
And then of course over the long term, because of their health benefits, because of their shading benefits, you save money in energy, you save money in potential health insurance because people aren't getting as sick. Yeah.
Also, it increases the value of your property by 10%, which is huge though. Yeah. So we ask every Eigentümer, every owner to contribute 500. That's our minimum Spende. And then we cobble the rest of it together from other fundraising sources. We have a great network, Roche, CMS. We also work with we get potential for funding through the Mehrwertabgabe Fund, which is through the Stadtgärtnerei. So they come and inspect the trees and see if it qualifies. And so we try to make a subsidized tree to make it possible for everyone to do. Otherwise, it costs around $2,000, $2,500 for every tree, from our perspective, from our side. Yeah. Well,
exactly. That's why we founded this Meinbaum Deinbaum Plus, because we really want to make a distinction between Meinbaum Deinbaum, which is really for planting trees in traditional Vorgartens for single, also Eigentümer, and then for companies where we're going with a real project. Because of course we need to get paid for that work. And of course for this project on the Hafen, we got paid by Immobilien Basel.
Yeah, there are many cities now boosting their green canopy in the cities. For example, Berlin, Amsterdam,
Paris.
Zurich, Paris, and it's coming in Basel. Yes,
but I would say these examples are Paris, at least that's all on public property.
Exactly.
And you're really focused on because it's where we can.
Yeah. Basel is green already. It is very green. I think it's more that we just want to elevate it to another level. The Stadtgärtnerei and citizens do a lot already, but there are places that can be improved, and that's what we try to target. We're not specifically trying to boost tourism. We're just trying to kind of enhance what is already a very green, wonderful city. So we have been asked. We've met with 2 other cities, Gemeindes. It's hard to kind of package this into a franchise model because it's really a person-to-person based process.
Well, it's another.
But we're working on it.
I would say it's another reason that we founded Meinbaum Deinbaum Plus, because we definitely see a consulting sort of aspect to it, where we've really got the process down pat here in Basel, where we could easily go into another city or another canton and say, hey, listen, let us help you establish Meinbaum Deinbaum, whatever, St. Gallen. And what we would do is we would would go there, we would identify their equivalent of the Vorgarten, what are the private spaces where you could plant trees. We would find the landscape architecture team on the ground there. We would identify funding there, and then sort of put the package together, let them work with it.
I mean, that's the dream, to grow.
Yeah.
And, I think it depends if it is in actually the private sphere or if it's on the public. There's usually a wall. You can contact the city and figure out what the actual property boundary is.
Or you can just go to
Google
Map
Maps.
BS.
And you can see it.
You'll see where the property, you'll see very clearly where the property line is.
Yeah.
And if it's private and if it has zum Beispiel like Asphalt oder Beton, da gibt es auch kein Verein, das heißt
Gemeinsamen Abbrechen.
Gemeinsam aufbrechen. Und die sind also ein Teil von WWF. Und die würden den Asphalt wegnehmen. Also wir haben ein Projekt zusammengestellt. Oh, sorry. Oh,
She doesn't
English.
speak English.
Oh, sorry. They take asphalt away. They're part of WWF.
Yeah.
And then we've done a project with them where they'll come in and they'll take your asphalt away, and then we'll come in and plant the tree.
I just wanted to add that.
No, we don't believe in that. To plant trees in pots.
I mean, big ones.
Yeah, we don't believe in that. It's. I think our whole kind of mantra is to get them in the ground, because that really reaches the potential of the tree and it lives longer. And a tree in a pot actually requires a ton of maintenance. It requires fertilizer, it requires water for years. Trees in the ground, after 2 years, you don't really have to water them unless it's really a drought.
And a tree in a pot doesn't perform its ecological function,
No.
because I mean half of the ecological function of a tree is coming from the roots taking moisture from the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sarah?
we're still going.
Of Luzernering. Well,
Swiss Life.
of our
there's a
success.
proposal.
They made some efforts to get it with them. And if someone knows, I think it's always good to just talk to the right person.
Yeah.
Talk with the main, like you can.
I mean, it's also like, for instance, at SIS, we sent quite a few emails just to info@SIS with this proposal and no reply. And then I finally called a friend who had a kid there and said, hey, do you know anybody at SIS? Can you reach out to them? The day later, SIS replied back. So, I mean, I think that's a small example of exactly how Basel is a small town, and if we can find somebody who's on the Stiftungsrat of Swiss Life, then it helps.
It also helps to talk to the people that live in the buildings, because they are often very passionate about where they live, and they can kind of force the owners to kind of, if there's a collective, we want a tree, they can push the owners into kind of this thinking of, maybe we need a tree. So we talk to a lot of people, basically.
That's actually just the following question, the one with the tramway trees, and did you really do that, or was that just a... That's what I thought, but maybe that would be really a great idea to make it more. You have a lot of public papers, but I'm really going to have some ads on the posters in the streets. That could be.
We actually put these visualizations together for a meeting we had with BKB sponsor.
But we're having an interview come out in the spring that will be on the tram, the video in the tram, so hopefully that'll reach a lot of people. Yeah, we're trying different angles, but this is just our tricky work. Okay, this is actually a good question. We, every time we meet with an owner, we collect the Leitungsplan from EWB, and we look and see what's there. Are they new pipes? Are they old pipes? Gas, electric, water? This is an important thing to know, that new pipes, the roots do not penetrate new pipe, and old pipes they do, the ceramic pipes. So we have to keep a lot of distance, but we have definitely distances we have to maintain when we plant a tree. We can never plant over a pipe. However, trees have different root structures. So, for example, a pine tree has a taproot that goes way deep, and if you're squeezed, you can plant a tree with a deep root rather than a flat root. We think a lot about that. When we plant the tree, we need 1 meter for the hole, and it's not a lot of space. So.
But this is also a good point because the Gesetz von UAB for Fernwärmeleitung is 1.5.
No, it's 2.
Is that correct? Yeah. But I think that, these Gesetz were certainly established when they were still using ceramic pipes.
Yeah.
And so part of our effort also is to sort of meet with the IWB and slowly try to tell them, hey, listen, there's studies out there where it's okay to plant trees closer to than 1.5. But that's a super long process to try to get them to sort of change their thinking, because it's actually, that thinking is a lot of the reason why you don't see more trees in Basel on public property, because there is a fear, all the way from, in the whole political realm that you can't plant pipes, and it's just, the facts prove otherwise these days.
Also, we've had to turn people down, just saying, look, you have too many pipes and they're spread out all over your garden, and I'm really sorry, but we can't plant a tree. And that's kind of depressing for us, but it happens. Definitely happens. Thank you. What did you say? We're looking for Leitungsstärke, like at the Stärke. Yeah.
Oh right, yeah. No, we thought we could apply it.
Yeah.
They need 3 women at the head of that organization.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, everybody wants to sit on a tree. So I'm Raphael and I'm gardener. So I see a lot of trees dying in the first 3 years. So because it's in the first years you have a little bit of effort and you care about this baby tree, I call it. So we invent a bench from 3D printing concrete. So it looks like this. So we can print a bench that you can put underneath your trees and sit on it and enjoy the tree, and you can fill water in it. So it drains out for maybe 3 weeks, and so it will help to start the new life of a tree. So we're searching for some test trees because the product is new and we start up. We have only 5 now out there, so maybe when you have a tree, talk to me.